Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to make the so-called survival graph and also parts of the whole. And even if you have pack of data which are relating together, then you can have the so-called nested type of graph. But let's start first with the survival one. So if you open the Prism file or the Prism application, then on the left side, you will need to find the survival one. And in here, please click on create. After you clicked on create, you would have a free canvas as we did on the class. So now let's go back into the Excel file and select all the data which relates to the survival graph you want to make. Copy it and then go back into the Prism, select the whole canvas to click on this free space. And when everything is blue, then now you can copy and paste in. So after you paste in, you see that the days and the different treatments of the mice experiment data are pasted inside the canvas. So I'm going to rename my data sheet called mice experiment. Then I click on the graph one, and then I'm going to change or select from the list what I wanted to make. First of all, that's fine for me. I'm going to click OK because I want to show the percentage of the survival one. As you see, my screen shows a really tiny graph. So let's change the size of the graph first. Right-click into the white one and resize the graph to fill the page. But as you see, we have a lot of free space next to the graph. So first of all, I'm going to reorganize the place of the figure legends, and also I'm going to change the range of the axes. Let's start with the axes. Double left click on the axis Y and X. It's up to you which one you should start with. But as you see, the editing surface shows that it was automatically determined by the range of the interval. So remove that sign and change up to 400 because it was not really necessary to have 500 days. Besides, you need to change the other graph axis. So you need to do the same thing. Remove the automatic determination and change up to 100. Now the graph is getting better and better. So I'm going to resize it, but first I'm going to move it down a bit and I'm going to increase this axis. But besides, now I have a lot of figure legends on the side and the free space. So first of all, I'm going to select with the left click all the figure legend and I'm going to place it on the left side of the graph. And then I'm going to increase the size of the axis. But as you see, everything is black and white now. So I'm going to change the color of the lines. First of all, I double left click in and then select all the data set. And I want to make, first of all, the connecting line more thick. So I'm changing up to 4 points. Good, but now everything is black. So let's go for the coloring. In my case, the color will be black. The salad will be, for example, orange. While the Coca-Cola, maybe that would be red. The protein, in my case, that would be blue. Why the donut, it is something, yeah, let's go with this, wow, striking pink. Okay, so now the colors are there, but there is one more thing. If you want to help your audience to realize which part is important for you or which text relates to the color, even the color of the text can be changed. Select the figure legend, and then on the top you see the editing surface of the text files or text parts. So click on choose the color and change the one that you used. You can do the same with the Coca-Cola, or you can do the same with the protein, and you can do the same with the donut. Also, I want to raise your attention that if you change into the gold one, now it is even more better. But there is one more thing, because if you are showing survival, you really need to show that this is percentage. So if you click in and then type that percentage, Now it is much more better. Good. So this is this survival. Now let's make a part of a whole. For that one, you can click on New Data Table, and from the list, select the part of the whole. Click on Create, and then you will see that only values entered into the column A will be automatically graphed. Use new graph to plot other columns. This is a small message you really need to consider. But this time I'm going to delete it, because if I go back into my Excel file and I click on the second sheet, now I have my data. So I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to go back into the Prism one. I select the whole thing, clicking on this part, and then I paste everything back. So I'm going to resize, or sorry, rename the data, which is the number of mice. And I'm going to go with the dot plot preview. Again, the same thing happens. You really need to resize the graph. Right-click into the white part, resize the graph to fill the page. As you finally, or I think now you see that I really don't like these borders, so I'm going to remove it. If you double left click in the graph, then the colors and the legend change all the categories, and you can remove the other borders. Now it is better, but I'm going to change the color because female mice needs to have something different. For example, look at this. Now it looks like a Barbie movie, but that's okay. But still, I don't know about the percentage, so I'm going to make I'm going to make a step by which it will be visible. So I'm going to double left click again back in the graph body, and I'm going to click on percentage. But don't forget that now it says just the female, but I want to have on the same for the male as well. As you see, now my graph is a bit disordered, so I'm going to change the portrait landscape part. So right click into the white one, flip to portrait, and now I'm going to select my two figure legends and I'm going to put under the graph. Also, it is important to see that there might be like, it's up to you how you are going to change or position the male female part. That's really up to you, but that's how it works. So now we have the second graph. Let's go for the third one, which is the so-called nested. So if you click on the new data table, now we have this nested type. Click on create. In the case of the nested data, if you go back into the Excel sheet, as you see, old female salad, old female Coca-Cola, old female control, herd 1, 2, 3, herd 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on. So the aim of the nested graph, most of the cases are the, how can I say? So I'm pretty sure that you have friends whom you are just hanging around most of your time. That happens here as well, because the nested type of experiments are showing you that, for example, these three were treated at the same time at the same cage, whatever. That's why the data is showing like this, because these three are connected somehow, and also these three. So let's copy the data into the GraphPad one. But before you do that, there is one really important thing you need to consider. If there is a merged and centered cell there, it might cause a trouble if you copy into the GraphPad. So in my opinion, it is beneficial to select just the data first and copy here, but there is one problem. I have three things, but here are just two. So what should I do now? Because I have three repetition, isn't it? So if you click on this part, when it says this is a nested table, if you click on it, you can change how many subcolumns you need to have. So I'm going to go for the 3-1, and now it is good. And I'm going to select the paste and paste data. Good. So now I have like the 3-pack, and I'm going to select the title. Maybe it's going to work, or maybe it is not, but let's see. Yeah, see, that happens with me as well because it was merged. Now everything is like triplicated there. So I'm going to undo this step and I'm just going to write there that this is old female, Coca-Cola, control, whatever. But the old female is not really necessary here because everything is old, right? I mean, everything is old and female. So you can write just salad, Coca-Cola, and control. So I'm going to go with this one. Salad, Coca-Cola. Oh, wait, that's really nice, isn't it? Because we were practicing on the class about the salad and the Coca-Cola, and I mentioned before that GraphPad is learning everything. So because you typed salad before and Coca-Cola, now it is offering you. Maybe you're going to use the same thing. Yes, that's good. And what's the last one? I think that was the control one. Good. Oh, control. Good. So now let's go for the data tree and rename it. These are the old feet again. So this is the old female. And then if you click on the graph, because of this nested, it is going to show you how it works. That's totally fine. Click OK. But there is one thing before we jump in. As you see, there is nothing here. So there is no herd one, herd two, or something. If you want to have a text here, if you go back into the data, you can type here what is A1. It is herd one, for example. And so on and so on. So it's really up to you what you write there. So it's not a big deal, I guess. Okay. And if you go back into the graph now, it says, I'm going to change the size of the graph to fill the page. And also, I'm going to remove this title because it is not necessary here. So there is one trick when you want to change the position of the figure legend. For example, this one, you can put it here. And this one, you can put it here. And this one, you can put it here. But as you see now, it's overlapping. But if you change the length of this, then it will be proper. And then you can change properly the position of the figure legends. Also, I'm going to change the size of the axis y. So what should we write here on the axis y? Because these are like what? So if you go back into the graphs, now it says it is body weight in grams. So you can write it here that this is body weight gram. Okay, let's enlarge a bit. But now we need to make some color change. And this is really, really important. So I told you on the class that with the colors, you can help the audience and the readers just to catch your line and find the logic. So use the same color as you used before. So in my case, if I'm not mistaken, my salad was orange and the control was black, while the Coca-Cola was red. So my salad will be orange. The Coca-Cola will be red. And the control will be black. But now I need to change the points of these ones as well. So I double left click in the body of the graph. And then I'm going to change the salad. The colors of the dots should be like orange. That's nice. And also the Coca-Cola needs to be changed into red one. Coca-Cola. And let's see, red one. Good. And the control is the control one. But there is one thing you really need to see. There is one problem with this part, because when the figure legend also has this symbol next to the text, this could be really misleading. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because everything is point, isn't it here? So it looks like that you have a point here as well, but which part it is relating. So that's why we are not putting the symbols here. If you have a nested graph, then what should you do? I'm going to remove these and I'm going to just type the text in the box. How I can do this? And just click on the T above this graph. There is an editing surface. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to put there that this is the salad. I'm going to resize it. Let's go with this one. No, it's too much, I guess, because the Coca-Cola needs to be also there. And I'm going to change the color of it. I'm going to copy, paste it, and then I'm going to type Coca-Cola. Oh, that sounds really weird. Coca-Cola. Oh my gosh, okay. And we need one more, which is the control. Control, good. So I'm going to make it black. Yes, perfect. So now it looks like that we have everything. Yes, I did change the bold and now it is just changing the position. But this is how the nested graphs are working. But you know, the tricky part here, because I was asking in the homework that you need to make a layout. And based on the previous homework that you made, some of you already know how to work with the layout. These are the layout plays. So if you click on layout, then you really need to decide what you want to show. So I have 3 graphs now. My page option would be like portrait, and I'm going to go with this setup. So you have a standard arrangement here. With 3 graphs, it can look like this. And it's so easy because if you just double left click, then you can choose which one you want to show. Let's go with this one, and then let's go with this one, and then let's go with this one. Okay, now it looks much more, I would say it's also okay, but I have one graph, the second and the third one. But because I know that this is really visible, I'm going to change the place, for example, somewhere here. And also I'm going to change this one because, you know, now it says it's 100% of the zoom out situation, but it's really, really hard to see what is going on. So what I do now is, yeah, let's change to landscape. And in that sense, I think we would have more chance to increase this a bit and this a bit. Yes. Good. So the reason why I'm changing so much, and yeah, let's make this one as well a bit more visible. Yeah, because you know what I have, like I told you that you need to consider your audience is deaf and blind. So make it visible. It doesn't really matter, like it looks on your screen too much. There is no too much, because that should be visible on the screen, on the class, what you will see, or even when you send it to me. So this is how it works. But yeah, I think that's the most important here now. So this is how you can make a layout, but let's see how you can export it into PDF or into like a PNG. So there is one button on the top, which is export select graph, or even you can find in file and export. So it's up to you which one you choose, the same result will come. So from the list, I'm going to choose for PDF, and in the background color, I'm changing the white one. And let's give a name, which is homework one, homework one, and I'm going to select folder by which I can make it. I'm going to just put on my desktop and then click OK. And it is going to export it. And if you click on it, please do check before you send it. Okay. So this is how it works. And voila, the homework is ready. So that's how you can make a layout. That's how you can save out in PDF. And the aim of this topic and today's material was this. So good luck with the homework. And I can't wait to see what you are going to do with the rest of the mochi topic.